Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is a little bit after 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, so y'all know what that is. This is another episode of Book Talk Live. I'm joined again today by another fabulous guest, an amazing guest, Mr. Tyrone Wesley Jr. He actually hit Amazon #1 bestseller in 4 categories yesterday after his launch. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, today is, first off, let me salute you. Not for Memorial Day, because your day would be Veterans Day, but let me salute you for your service. For those that don't know, Tyrone actually did serve in the military, so we definitely are humbled by his presence. So tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, and let's go ahead and introduce you to the world.
All right. Again, hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for being here today. My name is Tyrone Wesley Jr. Just a little bit brief about myself. I'll try my best to be brief. Born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey. Joined the military soon after high school, served 7 years, went on to college, and graduated from college with my bachelor's, and then went on to publish my book. But to just dig a little deeper, being born in the city, it was the concrete jungle, as most people in business will look at it. You got to have tough skin to handle it, and it makes you stronger. It helps you to grow. For me,
Go ahead.
For me, growing up in my childhood, one, being labeled with being dyslexic is having difficulty with reading and writing for the most part is something that I had. Took me some time to overcome, embrace, and live with. It's not a hindrance. It's not a handicap. It's not a limitation. As you can see, I was still able to publish my book and continue on writing. And also with being labeled in special education while going through high school, it will give most people that stigma that you're in special education, there's something wrong with you. And there was nothing wrong with me or for the many people that had been unfortunately put into the special education system in urban communities. So despite of that, I still went on to pursue my passion. I still went on to college and graduated with my bachelor's in computer science. Writing, writing has been a very big part of my life. It started when I was in the 5th grade, and as the years and time went on, it grew from writing scripts, screenplays to poetry, novels, and it's just going to continue to grow from there. And it's like I see myself at one point being able to write a song. And it's like one of the next areas to be a writer in is to write a song in. Even though I'm tone deaf and flat key, I do my best.
He say tone deaf and flat key. Come on, I'm still gonna do it.
I do my best with it. I just make sure I have somebody that does have the flow rhythm of the voice to put it together.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's like,
and that is amazing, because one of the things that I admire about you, in case people missed it, you did mention that you were labeled as dyslexic, but yet and still you are still a published author. You went on to get your degree, and that's just amongst a few of the things that you've done. So tell me a little bit, what inspired you to write your first book?
What inspired me was it was something I have done through most of my life when it came to my writing. It was always in the area of pain in some shape or form, whether it was dealing with betrayal, heartache, death, suicide. And it was a category that not many people were comfortable listening to, hearing about, or talking about. And when I had to sit down with all of my works that I had from childhood, even up to my adult life, and looking at all of the poetries and short stories I've written, the one that stuck out the most was the ones about pain. And it just, it connected with my spirit that this was something that needed to come out first. And it needed to be shared because people need to understand that you have to acknowledge your pain to know that you're doing the work to heal from it, to get to the life that you deserve to have and that you want to have.
There you go. So So we know a little bit about the book. You said it's about pain and about living the life that you want to have in spite of the obstacles. Tell us a little bit more about the book, because your launch yesterday was very, one, it was very encouraging. Two, it was very emotional because of some of the things that you actually shared with everybody. So tell us a little bit more about your about the book.
Once going to more, it's like more about the book. It was definitely a journey in itself, putting it together, along with putting the short stories and completing them, because they deal with issues and things that we face or we know about, especially in the Black community, not excluding the other community. But when it comes to dealing with family secrets of child abuse or child molestations, whether it be from the uncle or a father or someone that everybody trusts, it's not something that people will want to talk about or like talking about. So it was something that I put into my book and put into a way to where it forces you to see it and to recognize it and to know that you can't be silent about it, thinking that it's helping when it's actually doing more harm than anything.
Yeah. And you being, I want to get you past that nervous phase. In case y'all can't tell yet, Tyrone is very humble and very shy. Um, and one of the things about his book, is that it touches on the subject of depression, touches on mental health issues, especially with this being Mental Health Awareness Month. It is a very impactful subject, and it talks about the consequences of suicide, not just on the person who's thinking about it, but also those who love the person that are dealing with it. And myself as a survivor, it kind of hit home yesterday. If you didn't notice during the call, there was a point that I had to kind of get away from the screen, just because certain memories are hard to live down. So let's go a little bit more in depth about what people can expect from this book, Shadows of My Pain.
Well, what people can expect from the book is that when it comes to dealing with your pain, you have to remove it from the shadows and stop hiding it. Stop keeping it in a dark corner, crying yourself to sleep at night with it, but then telling the world that you're fine and you're okay and you're good when you're not. And it's like knowing that you have a support system and it's okay to talk to someone about what you're feeling. Your feelings are valid. What you experienced and what you went through is valid. It's real. Your pain is not less or more than anyone else's. So there's no need to just brush it to the side, worrying about what the rest of the world is going through when you need to work on you. It's most important thing you can do when it comes to healing and being yourself and living the life that you want. And that there's something I deal with when it comes to having chronic depression, and I deal with it. I journal, I listen to good music, getting a therapist. I have my support system with my family and friends that I could call when I'm feeling down or I'm feeling like things are getting too much. It's
Yeah.
always good to have that outlet, a place where you can go to regain yourself, to ground yourself, and to realign to your purpose and going through like the way you should and part of your purpose.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's so important. You touched on having the outlets and having those people that truly do care about you and that do want to help through it. You also mentioned that yourself being one who struggles with chronic depression, and that's something that as a, I guess I can say, as a black man, most of us have those issues, and we don't really talk about it. You see all these posts these days about I need a man that does this and I need a man that does that, and my man better pay all the bills and he better do this, but yet and still nobody's asking the man, what is it that you really need? And these are some of the things that you have inside of your book. So what we're going to do is take a quick break, get a quick word from our sponsors. Y'all know our sponsor is the Business of Books Mastermind Program. Just a quick minute, and we will be back with you shortly.
Man, this journey has been So amazing. I have to be transparent and I have to keep it real. I have to keep it 100. When my sister, told me, hey, well, she didn't even tell me anything about you. You just messaged me on Facebook. And I'm like, who is this dude? Like, who is this? And for you to tell me, hey, you have a story. Do I? You don't know me, I don't know you. And then for me to, allow you to have me to open up and bring out that story out of me is just amazing. Coach, Mr. Destin. Forget that, I can't say Mr. Destin, I'm gonna have to say Coach. You are so amazing. And if there is anybody willing to, if you're looking for a trustworthy person, someone who, believe it or not, that knows other people, but he doesn't, the people that we meet coming from him, I'm going to recommend you guys to actually be transparent, share your story, and become, a family member of BOBM, business. I forgot.
It's business of book mastermind. But
the family is it's amazing. I know this is about me, but I have to give you your props too. I'm not trying to make you cry either, but
I ain't got no onions over here.
Whatever. This team and our team, I moved here to Texas, and doing this, I didn't have any family. So now I have family with everybody here, and I just love the unity that we have. So if anybody's watching this video, because I can't tell who's looking, who's watching, I'm going to recommend them to you, Coach. Because you have, there are so many people that are out there that want to do what they want to do for money, and you're not about that. You want to make sure that we succeed. You make us work if you're coachable. Well, regardless if you're coachable or not, he's going to put you in line and make you coachable because he wants the best out of you. And I recommend the program. I know that you wasn't asking me that, but I just have to give it back to you. I recommend the program. It works. Look at me, guys. It works.
Nah.
Wow. That was an oldie, but a goodie. Now she's a 3-time #1 best-selling author and a 2-time international best-selling author. So we keep it moving. Let's jump back. For those of you that are just joining us, we're joined today by Mr. Tyrone Wesley Jr., who is the author of. Tell them a little bit about the book, man. Come on.
A little bit about the book is that this book is going to push you to recognize that your pain is real and that it is required for you to go through your healing and to free yourself from the burden of having that emotional connection to the things that have hurt you in your past. It can't be rewritten. It can't be removed. It's only best to go through it, learn from it, and use it to pursue your passion. Use it to tell your story to help others that are right there at their rope and they don't have that much strength to go forward. It's like your words and your kind gestures can help them. A hug, asking them how they feeling and mean it, and listen to what they saying when they telling you how they feel, and not just reacting to after they done talking. Like, okay, you done talking, let me just speak now. Like, no, listen to what they're saying, listen to the words, and then look them in the eye. Force them to give you eye contact and look them in the eye so they know that you care about them and that you want them to know that they're loved and that they're important.
Absolutely. And his book is Shadows of My Pain. And if you got a copy of your book, go ahead and let them see what the book looks like. Shadows of My Pain is available on Amazon. But as we always say, if you are going to get the book, buy it directly from the author. you can get it directly from his website, TyroneWesleyJr.com. TyroneWesleyJr.com, and it's at a very reasonable rate. Now, one of the things that we're touching on with his book is that there's a lot of depression and there's a lot of suicide. I know in the Black community, the suicide rate is up there, but as an entrepreneur, this one hits home because I think they say the normal suicide attempt rate is like 8%, or depression rate is about 8% across the board for all people. But when it comes to entrepreneurs, that number is closer to 30%. So if you think about it, how many of your friends have businesses out there and they're constantly going up and down and up and down, and people don't understand that? Or even with Tyrone being ex-military, how many people do you know that are military that came home or that went away and then came back and are dealing with some type of mental health or some type of depression issues? What are some of the other suggestions that you have for people that are dealing with depression, dealing with these issues?
I said, for one, if you don't have a support system, there is hotline numbers that you can contact. And with my book, that I made sure, because I didn't just want to leave people on a sad note, on a depressed note, or have them triggering back the memories of what they've been through without an outlet for them to go to. So I made sure I had put the hotline numbers at the back of the book.
Yeah.
And I made sure I put it there, and it's like covering many different categories, not just with just depression and suicide, sexual assault, youth crisis, and international numbers, because it's not just in the U.S., it's around the world. This is something that everybody is experiencing, and needing that outlet is what most of them do. They trying to reach out to you, and they trying to get somebody to hear them without them saying it. And if we're just focusing on moving past because of the internet and social media and how everything is now fast-paced, we're moving past the conversation just to get to the end. We could be missing the keynote to them asking for help. And then we get that call later on that night or that next day, someone asking you, hey, when's the last time did you talk to such and such? I haven't heard from them all day and they usually call me. Or I haven't seen them last week. And then now you're sitting there replaying the last time you saw them. And now you're evaluating the way they moved, how they acted. Was they avoiding eye contact, or they was staring off into space? And then you question yourself, like, did I really care about them? Or was I just more focused on getting through the day, getting through the moment, just to get to the next thing?
Yeah.
It takes the time to just listen and be there with the person and paying attention, especially if they're making jokes about suicide. Even though they may brush it off, making jokes about it is one of the cries out. They're making a joke to see what everybody's reaction going to be if they got to the point where they wanted to do it. And we may not know that day that they're making a joke about it is the day they had planned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely deep. We're gonna go back and forth on this one, because this one is it hits close to home. Yes. And for most people, so if I can interject and explain kind of the importance of why I see your book having so much value. I remember being 4 years old, right? And so I was at the basketball court with my dad, and we're playing basketball or whatnot. And one of my aunts rolled up, and she drove up like real fast. You can almost hear the tire squeak, and she yells out, "Shug!" That's my dad's nickname too. So she's like, "Shug, hey, come on, quick, we gotta go." And he was like, "What's going on?" And she said, "Vincent is in trouble." And Vincent is the name of my uncle. She said he's going through something. At this young age, again, I was about 4 years old. My dad left and like immediately took off in the car, and he was like, "Hey, I guess he told my sister." I don't remember exactly how I got home that day. I just know I got home, and my dad ended up where he ended up. Later that day, I find out that the reason that they took off so quick was because my uncle, at the time, he was 19, and he committed suicide. right? Fast forward years later, July 4th, 2014, I personally had one of those situations where my son's mom decided that she was done. And that was the first time that I seriously made an attempt. That was the only time that I seriously made an attempt on my own life. And that was July 6th. And so it's kind of like what you're exposed to, you don't realize it, but it does come back. So for, like you said, there's people that we know these days that may joke about it, you know, and sometimes they're just like, you know, I'm just not having a good day. Some people are just crying out for help. But then there are those who are seriously going through pain in their own personal life, and just like a touch, somebody with, like you said, a sincere hug, somebody with a sincere smile, listening to them on the phone, that voice, just knowing that somebody on the other end cares, and not just cares, but genuinely cares about their life, makes a huge difference. So what you have some poems in there, and also some deep excerpts. Yesterday you read one of the excerpts from the book. You want to share that so that people can kind of get a little bit more into the book with us?
Of course. Now, I'm not too sure on how Facebook or how the streaming that we're on is going to take with certain words being spoken on there. Don't want to get nobody in trouble. But I would definitely read some experts. I'll start with one of the poems that I had read on there, and then I'll go into the excerpt of the story that I read at the relaunch. For those that missed it, it was wonderful. It was a good experience. I missed a lot of input and information, and let's dive in. So this poem is called These Eyes, and it was something that I had touched on the relaunch. And then when it came to these eyes, that's something that we got into the habit of not doing anymore, is looking at each other in the eye, keeping that eye contact, making that eye contact. And it's like, and with me growing up in the city, especially up north, when you look at somebody's eye, they take it the wrong way. Like there's a problem, there's something going on. When no, and in fact, it's a respect.
It's not just up north. Hey, it depends on the neighborhood you go into. It depends on the neighborhood. You gotta watch how you looking at folks.
And what it is like the eyes is the doorway and the gateway to your soul and to your spirit. So for most people to get uncomfortable with someone that's staring at them, is that they know, okay, this person is now seeing me. They're not just looking and moving on and not even remember what I got on or what my face looked like. They actually are looking at me. Yeah. Now it causes them to reevaluate, who am I? What am I doing? And am I still holding on to some pain that I don't want nobody to know about? Am I holding on to the secrets that they're going to see because they're looking at me and I don't like it?
Yeah.
So here we go. These eyes. Why won't these painful eyes cry? These eyes are so full of depression and obsession. These eyes that was ripped of its prime. These eyes that was killed at its prime. These eyes that once stared at life at the face of love. Why won't these painful eyes cry? Their shine is gone, destroyed by the betrayal of love and deceived by the appearance of lust. These eyes that were so full of life now holds the look of pain and darkness. You see these eyes everywhere, with looks of no hope, no future, with looks of unbearable suffering, and that blank look of nothing. These eyes that you try to avoid with all your might. These eyes that are close to dying. These eyes that scream for help. These eyes.
Yeah, that's deep.
That one is, like I said on the relaunch, it was like that one I had hit personally when it came to looking at even not just other people, but looking at yourself in the mirror. And it was something that I avoided for years when I was not taking care of myself and not having that outlet of trusting people to confide in or let them know what's going on. I avoided looking at myself in the mirror because I couldn't handle what I was seeing. And it wasn't until I got older and actually started opening up to people and actually started being more sociable and just being the person that I've always been, just being more upfront and expressive, that I started looking at myself in the mirror and actually learning to love myself and complimenting myself and being there for myself first, while appreciating and understanding that people were being there for me. So that poem right there is like one personal one that I really connect with, and it touches me. And to know how far I have came and how far I have grown, it definitely brings joy. But at the same time, this is one of those things that you have to work on and go through and grow from. More than anything, grow from, to understand it's very important to look somebody in the eye. It doesn't hurt unless you're hurting. Then you need to be honest with it.
There you go. Listen, I love that poem, and I think every time somebody on our Zoom calls going forward is off camera, I'm gonna be like, Tyrone, these eyes, come on. Hey, and as much as we are laughing and joking, it's not a joking matter, but for two people that have been through these situations and have overcome, they mean so much, right? And I can understand exactly what you're saying, because there's certain points that, in my life when I wasn't in the best of spirits, and somebody would look at me and I'm just like, yeah, all right, I'm good, and like looking everywhere but in somebody's eyes. And that's one of the reasons that I'm so big on, let me see you. I want to put my eyes on you, because when you look somebody in their eyes, if you genuinely are a caring person, you can feel that spirit. Right. And so that is so deep. That was a definite cry for help in that poem.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. So what we're gonna do, and I know we just took a break, we're gonna take another quick break, come right back, hear from our sponsor, and y'all may laugh, but listen, the Business of Books Mastermind program is the real deal. We are helping authors to get to their dreams and live their dreams. 180 bestsellers to date, 180 not bestsellers, #1 bestsellers. So here's a word from our very first bestseller, Amazon #1 bestseller, who's now a 3-time or 2-time Amazon #1 bestseller and a 2-time international bestseller.
Before I go, if I can say something, man, about you, like. Okay. You've helped me with this whole process. I mean, I can't even put into words how much I appreciate what you've done. And I'm going to tell everybody who's watching, who's going to be watching, if you want to be an author and you want to get your book out there, man, this is the dude for you. Because, someone referred me to you, and you were like on the phone, boom. It didn't even take you no time to, get with me and put this thing together. And within a couple of weeks, man, I'm a best-selling author. So kudos to you and what you do. And I promise you that I'm going to try my best to bring people. I've actually turned a couple people into, program them or trying to program them to write a book because of you. And I want to say thank you. I appreciate you and all the success that the book does. Hey, some of that goes definitely to you. So anyone out there, man, highly, highly, highly recommend it.
That's all you, brother. You got me over here feeling like somebody chopping an onion. So yeah. So hey, I really was feeling like somebody was chopping onions that day. I'm not one that's big on the compliments. Let's touch on the writing process. For those of y'all that are just joining us, huge celebration. This young man that is on with me, Mr. Tyrone Wesley Jr., published author. He is now an Amazon #1 best-selling author. His book, Shadows of My Pain, is touching on a lot of issues that we run from, or we ran from in the Black community. Now it is something that is starting to come to the forefront, and not just in the Black community, but in the community in general. Mental health, depression, anxiety, suicide. And a lot of people, are, especially this weekend, we're celebrating those fallen soldiers who gave their life in the line of duty. But there are also soldiers who died after they got back home because of the stress that life had for them. And I'm not speaking out of place, speaking sincerely on those same people that we pass by on the side of the road and say, "Oh, you just a bum." No, that's somebody of value. And there's a lot more people of value out here in this world that are being looked over. So I honor the book that you've written because you wrote it from the heart. You wrote it from a place of your pain. Let's talk about that cover, man, because that most looking at the cover,
The first thought they get is it's something about slavery. It's something about racial injustice, and it's not. This is when it came to putting the book together. I had to it had to be something that will capture not only our readers' attention, but it will also cause them to think about judging a book by its cover. So with this, let me try to get it right in the camera. There we go.
Oh, we can see it.
So with the picture is showing is that this is something that we deal with on a daily basis, our inner voice. And at times when life gets hard, going through a rough patch or a traumatic experience, whether it be an assault, a separation, abandonment, we have that inner voice that's telling us to give up. That's telling us to let it go. It doesn't matter. No one cares. You're worthless. And for some, they overcome that inner voice and they continue to strive and go forward in life. And they use that moment to share their story to help others that are going through the same thing. And then there are those that don't. Mm-hmm. They give into it. And then they make that decision to do it. And it's not out of, they want attention. They just crying out for help. No, the pain gets too much. And that's when it comes to everyone pain they experience is real and it's valid. It's not, I had lost my parent. Well, there's people that didn't have parents growing up. I'm like, but that doesn't mean that my pain is less than them. The pain is still real. I lost the pain. That hurts. And it hurts just as much as someone that didn't have parents because they didn't get the chance to have those memories. But at the same time, they don't get to feel that loss of losing them and only having those memories. So it's understanding that even though our experiences is different, our pain is real. And it helps when people understand and acknowledge and appreciate and respect it that our pain is real and allowing us the space to heal in it. And just being a voice and being a person that has that empathy to not, I didn't go through the same thing you went through, but I empathize and understand that this is something serious that you need a hug with. You need somebody to talk to. You need somebody to take a walk with you, just to sit there and be in the room while you vent out and let it out, just not hurting yourself and not putting you in a place where you are hurting other people, whether it be with your words, whether it be with your actions. Causing hurt does not help anyone, and it only makes it that much harder to heal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, this topic is so heavy, and it's heavy because a lot of people. You touched on something a while back, but I love that cover. Just because, like I said, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and upon first look, most people, like you say, when I first saw the cover, I was like, okay, where we going with this? But understanding the story behind it, it makes a huge difference because it's art in its purest form because it's telling a story without giving away the plot and giving away the twist. There's so many interpretations to it. You and Miss Deborah keep saying that. Are you able to see the comments?
No, I'm not able to see the comments at all.
If you click at the very top right, there's this thing that says comments. You can see all the comments. Yeah, but Miss Deborah says, thank you for listening to the voice in your heart by putting it on paper. And then Ms. Deborah also said, unfortunately, hurt people. That one I can attest to because I've been around and being in different positions, especially when you're in a position of leadership, you deal with people from all different walks of life. Some people are so bruised that they're looking for their scapegoat.
Yes.
And so that's important. That's key. Tell me about this writing process. What was your writing process like?
My writing process, that's in the beginning when I was writing most of these poetry, the poems that I have, and a few of the short stories. It was when I was in high school, and it was just experiencing my own form of pain from bullying, being bullied, and counted out or discarded as a person, and knowing what that felt like. Yeah, I had to put it down on paper, but also looking at what are some things that other people have experienced, but they don't get a chance to say it, or they're afraid to say it. And that's one of the things that really fueled me on the continuing writing, was to be the voice for those that are too afraid to speak up, or they're no longer here to speak up.
Yes, definitely. So you said you went around the subject.
No, I didn't go around.
You did.
I had more to say about it, but I just took a pause a little bit.
Yeah.
I took a pause a little bit, but I had more to say with it.
Nah, here's the reason that I really want to touch on your writing process, right? Because as people can see in the write-up of this episode, you were actually labeled as dyslexic, right? And so many people put different excuses in front of themselves for why they haven't written their book, why they haven't went after their goals, and et cetera, et cetera. You name it. There's a list of excuses that go on and on. So how did you overcome what the doctors and the teachers told you that you were, and still say, you know what? You may say that I'm dyslexic, and if anybody does not know what dyslexia is, let me say that right, because that almost came out sounding horribly wrong. It almost came out sounding horribly wrong. But for anybody that does not know what dyslexia is, I say go back to the Cosby Show episode when Theo had to realize why he was making C's and D's in school was because the words were jumbled on the screen, right? It's not something that I deal with, but that was the realest interpretation of it to me. Break that down for us. How did you overcome that? And what is it like? And then two, how did you break that barrier for yourself?
One for me is, it's like, okay, so when I'm reading, I have to be very attentive and careful on what I'm reading, especially when I'm reading out loud, because I will tend to skip a word, or because I see the first letter of the next word, I end up saying the opposite or a completely different word, same beginning letter, but a completely different word than what's written. And so at times I had to, especially when I'm reading books, I usually follow with my finger along to make sure I'm reading each and every word as it's written, and not just guessing what it is or allowing my mind to go faster than what I'm actually seeing. And when it comes with me writing, it's the same aspect. It's like my mind will go a little bit faster, and I'm writing everything down, and I'll miss a word, or I'm looking to say one word and I end up writing something totally different. And that was it. And what made me push past it was to continue to do it, because it was my passion. I loved writing, so there was no way someone was going to stop me or tell me that I couldn't do it. And utilizing my imagination and being able to create a story and to create a character and give them a purpose, give them a journey, give them an experience, and actually giving people a chance to see a life through someone else's eyes and not just their own, is what kept me going, to that I'm not going to give up on it and let what someone else says stop me. And going through with putting together my book, I had at the time didn't really have the money to go through a editor, or knowing about how to find an adequate editor that's going to understand what I'm writing and not trying to change it to fit what they feel comfortable with. So,
voice, yeah.
So I edited my book myself, which was a challenge, but it also to reaffirm on how me being dyslexic can look like to other people that are not familiar with it. It'll look like a paper that it has a good flow, it has good input, but is all over the place. It has the grammatical errors. It has the misspelled words. It has the missing words. It has the misplaced words. But regardless of that, it's still a wonderful piece of paper. It's still a wonderful masterpiece of a poem or a short story or a novel or a script. It's just missing the key things that everyone else has naturally in life. So for me, I had to do my due diligence when it came to proofreading it. And then, like I said, when I go through it and I'm reading with my finger on each letter, that's how I did my editing. And I went through it 4 times by myself, reading each story, each poem, line by line, word by word, to make sure it's not only spelled correctly, it has a flow when I'm speaking it out loud. I'm not missing any words. Punctuation is as best as I can get it. So when it comes to having it being a published copy, a lot of people would not understand it. If I have to show you how it first looked, it's a big difference to how it is. Even though there's still some errors with it, there's still some mistakes with it. It's not going to be perfect, and that's another thing I had learned from the books I read. No book is written perfectly.
Say that again.
No book is written perfectly. Some books have double words, misspelled words, misplaced words. They have their errors. It's no way to be 100% perfect in a book. But as long as you having the ability to create a story that captures the audience to where they're so into the story, they miss the errors that is so minor.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I love what you're saying, and most people may not understand what it looks like in the beginning versus what it looks like in the end. But we've had some challenges that have come through and have turned into masterpieces. So I don't judge any writer, not publicly, not publicly, but yeah. So
with the second book, I've learned from that experience that as much as I am protective with my writing and guarded with it, I have to get help when it comes to polishing it up so that way it has the flow that I see it having and I know it has. So I made sure I got an editor for my second book, and they got some work on their hands, but I appreciate the understanding of trying to edit it on your own versus having someone else with different eyes to look at it and catch the things that you may have missed. And I understand that importance of having an editor and it being someone that you trust, someone that you do your research on, you know who they are, and you have a connection with. You don't want to just pick a random person to just edit something that you worked hard on, because you might be trying to catch blows later. Because writers take their work very, very seriously, no different than artists taking their music seriously, athletes taking their skills very seriously. It's something you take it with your heart. So you definitely want to make sure that the right person that you're connected with is helping you and working with you on it.
Yeah, and I can attest to that as well. We share that experience in the fact that my very first book, I didn't do it on. I self-edited the first version of it. Self-edited, self-formatted. Knew nothing about editors, formatters. Didn't know that there was a whole world out here for the business behind each book. And even recently, we were running behind on a few projects because the volume is actually going up. And so one of the projects we actually sent off, and what they sent back did not look anything like what we were expecting. So had to jump right back in there and get those editing eyes right back on it. So that's definitely crucial, and that's key. So it sounds like you definitely put the work in. And so these are, you said book number 2. So tell me about book number 2.
Well,
come on.
Well, book number 2 is definitely going to have the same impact, but it's going into a completely different area of space and genre. Just being blunt with it, because everybody's an adult, and I'm hoping everybody's a mature adult, because we all could be up there in age but not have the maturity. But the second book is completely about sex, from the journey, the intimacy of it, the connection with it, and the different many forms of sex and passion, and understanding when it comes to the flow of dominance and submissive. in that area of intimacy. And that's still what the book is definitely focused on, just to give the blunt version of it.
Hey, that's like you said, we're all adults, and if it wasn't for sex, none of us would be here.
Definitely true.
Well, most of us. Most of us. But in some way, shape, or form, that is how we got here. So I think that's going to be a topic that will definitely turn some heads and raise some eyebrows. Because you mentioned the different aspects of sex, and not just sex, but the dominance, the submission, the break it down, man. I mean, like, you know more about this book than I do.
Like when I'm talking about the dominance,
we're both about to turn red over here.
When I'm talking about the dominance and submissive, is talking about it in the aspect of mental as well as spiritual, and it's in the flow of energy when it comes into being dominant and submissive. It's not so much as someone is controlling you and forcing you to do something. It's just that when you are looking in their eyes and you're in that space and you're feeling their energy, you're feeling their presence, and when they're saying something, it's like you immediately having that feel of submissive, I'm following their lead. And it's no difference when it switches to where when you're saying something, they following your lead. And in one of the stories, it goes over that in a very, I'll say a very trying to find the right word for it, because it's not blunt and broad, but it's a very graphic but understanding way of it. And it shares the dynamics of being of a married couple, and they're showing, and it's in the story, it's showing the flow of the dominance going from the wife to the husband, as well as to their addition. Because it's a triple, and just showing how they all flow into having their moments of being the masculine in the act and in the intimacy, as well as being the submissive, but they're all having that shared respect and that shared vulnerability to have that harmony. And it's one thing of having that harmony versus forcing it, and then you get in that forced back, and it goes into a clash, and it doesn't work out, and it just becomes a bad experience.
Yeah, there you go. You're touching more into the aspects of tantra when it comes down to sex, like sexual magic. All right. Well, listen, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be back soon. For those of you who have been listening, as you can tell, this young man is brilliant in the way that he delivers, not only verbally, but also in his book, Shadows of My Pain. Right now, for those of you who are interested, we do have a very exclusive offer where you can get a free copy of his book. All you got to do is comment book in the comments. One more word from our sponsor, and we will be back with you shortly.
Everybody has a story, and so do you. We know that you've been through life, been through heartaches, been through pain, been through depression. You've thought about writing your book for years, wanting to help change lives because of the things that you've overcome. We don't know what your story is, but we can help you turn your story into a living, breathing book that creates opportunities for you to impact lives and change the world. The business of books is here to teach you the opportunities that come from your book, how to write your book, how to brand yourself, how to market your book, and how to get in front of the right people to sell that book. We have an amazing team of designers, an amazing team of editors. We have a team behind you to help you get through your first book and get it to the world so that the world knows you are here. So remember, everybody has a story. It's time to write yours.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, we are We are back live. We have Mr. Tyrone Wesley Jr. For those of you who had just joined us, his book "Shadows of My Pain," Amazon #1 bestseller in multiple categories, and we just finished talking about his latest project and what's coming next. But I want to touch on. I think you had something for the audience that you've been working on for them to help them through their issues.
Yes, for anyone that is looking to just get some idea or some guidance on starting the process of healing, I do have my 6 steps to start healing from the pain available. And just go to my website, Tyrone Wesley Jr. for Junior.com, and fill out the contact form, and you will get emailed the 6 steps to start healing from the pain. It is very crucial and very beneficial to anyone and everyone. And you can even use it to share with someone you know that may be going through a quiet storm and they just looking for someone to see their eyes and give them a helping hand.
Absolutely. So y'all make sure you go and visit Tyrone's website, www.tyronewesleyjr.com, and we'll spell it out, TYRONEWESLEYJR.com. Again, that's TYRONEWESLEYJR.com. Now, just want to make sure that you all have the correct information. And I actually had a chance to look at the free giveaway that he has, and it's some very impactful information, some very good information. And that way you can stay connected to Tyrone himself for upcoming projects, different events that he has. And once he starts his coaching community, because I see it coming very soon, I can definitely see. I can see the commercials now. For those of you who are looking for healing, you better call Tyrone.
If they're gonna do that, they can't spell my name wrong. They can't get it wrong if they know that song.
Yeah, they got to. They got to know how to spell it. But listen, this has been an absolute pleasure. Are there any last words, any last things that you want to share with those out there who may be dealing with depression, who may be dealing with those issues, who are keeping it to themselves? Because this is a huge issue, especially with this being Mental Health Awareness Month. We want to give you the spotlight to wrap it up.
I just want to say, for those that are going through personal pain and they don't want to talk to anybody about it, whether you having trust issues, or I don't want to say so much as trust issues, you're guarded because you've been through the experience of being hurt by someone you shared information with, you confided into, and they went and they gave it to someone else, or they went and told the world. So now you keep it to yourself. It's okay if you don't have a family or friend to talk to, but at least reach out to the hotline numbers and talk to someone. Reach out to someone, whether it be through the phone, text, call, FaceTime, and let them know you just need somebody to talk. And if you are that person, it's one thing to post on social media that call me if you need any help, I'm here if you need me. It's another thing when someone is calling you and you ignore their phone call, or they texting you and you leave them on red. That's a different statement. You can't just put the post up and not follow through. If you're going to be that support system and you're going to be that person that is being an open arms and an open ear and a shoulder to cry on for someone, you have to do the work and be there. And that's what people are looking for, is to know that someone, at least just one person, is there for them when they need it the most.
Yes, sir. This is definitely a huge topic, and one that we can all relate to. We've all had somebody in our lives that didn't reach out, and that was, the signs were there, but because like Tyrone said, we're moving way too fast and we're focused on the things that are happening around us, and we're focused on trying to get to a certain place, or trying to be a certain person, or trying to impress people that really don't matter in the long run, and missing out on those opportunities to help the people in our lives that are reaching out for us. Reach out for help. reach out for help. And as we always say, walk in love, spread love, and be that person for others. Be that person for others, because the world is hurting right now. Whether we laugh and joke about it or whether we seriously take a look, the world is hurting, and there's so many people out there that need help. How can they follow up with you?
Okay, you can follow up with me on my website, TyroneWesleyJr.com, on Instagram, Tyrone Wesley Jr., all one word, no underscores, no extra letters, just Tyrone Wesley Jr. Also on Facebook, Tyrone Wesley. You can send me a message. My email address is TyroneWesleyJr@gmail.com. I would say put your title, put your name, or put something in the subject so I can know it's you and not a solicitor, because they trying to hide themselves now. So just know you can reach out to me, and it's like I will do my due diligence to keep my eyes open for anyone that's needing someone to talk to, needs someone to listen, to hear, and to help.
Absolutely. And make sure y'all go and grab that free giveaway at his website. It's what, 6 Steps to Healing?
Yes. 6 Steps to Healing from the Pain.
6 Steps to Healing from the Pain. And what's that website again? Spell it out for him one time.
It's TyroneWesleyJr.com. TyroneWesleyJr.com. Remember Erykah Badu, Call Tyrone. And of course, you can't forget Wesley Snipes. I mean, he's been in 3 Blade movies with no butter knife, so you ain't gonna forget it.
And on that note, we love y'all, and we will see you next week. Love y'all.
Love y'all. Take care.